If you hold XRP, you will not believe what just happened. XRP marked as the fastest ever to $1 billion in open interest. We just got that announcement here just a couple of hours ago, so I want to go over that, as well as just everything else that we're seeing as it relates to XRP, because overall, hasn't been a great day for XRP in terms of price movement, because we have seen it go down a little bit, but overall, it really doesn't matter. It's still a super minor pullback, and the structure that we are looking to maintain is actually holding quite well. It actually looks like we might be dipping into a region where we would be looking to see a bounce. So we'll be going through all of that. Let's actually just go ahead and jump right into that chart right now. You can see here, we have this XRP kind of like a little bit of a retrace coming back. You can see there's almost kind of two trend lines being held here. The first one you could see a little bit sharper and a little bit steeper. This is the one that we most recently got rejected off of. You can see a pretty clean rejection there. We are now kind of dropping back into this like liquidity zone where we should see a decent level of support here. You can see before we broke through this back in July, this was a pretty strong top that we'd seen cleanly rejected twice here back in May. So this should be a pretty strong level that we should hold. If we do hold, then of course we can look to take another big swing back at these trend lines. Now, if you look at something, you'll see something pretty interesting. XRP likes to do this type of move, and if you see what happens here, we'll just draw a quick couple. Again, the trend lines are not going to be perfect here, but you should kind of see exactly what we're looking for. When we break this type of trend line, it's pretty clear to see what happens next, right? I mean, it's got a really nice move back to the upside here. We can see it happening 3 times just in the, well, I guess we'll say beginning of December. I was gonna say 3 times just in this year. If we count from when this broke, that is actually true. But you could see, it's very clear that this is the 3rd time it appears that this type of formation is forming. So we're gonna be looking very close to hold this, and this could be very exciting because we've seen, let's actually just go take a quick look here for price. But every time we've broken out of this, we've seen a 46% pump, and then we've also seen a 65% pump. So if we were to see something similar, let's just kind of split the difference here, and let's just do like a 55% pump from here. If we were to see that, we would be reaching up into that $4.30 range, and that would actually put us quite cleanly over that all-time high. All-time high we actually got super close to back here in late July. Weren't able to break it, but this type of move would very clearly send us over that all-time high mark. So that's something that I'm looking at. We also do have several things coming in the near future that should actually help hold this up. Now, if you're a little bit concerned about the move down that we have seen today, I wouldn't be personally. Of course, you can see here on the crypto bubbles, basically everything down on the day. You can see a consistent between like 3 to let's say 8% down on the market here. Almost nothing green. We have a couple here, of course, but the vast majority of the top 100 cryptos all showing red right now. Now, I want to take a quick look here into what we've seen, and this is an announcement from Brad Garlinghouse. The CME group posted just a couple of hours ago. They're essentially like monthly highlights for August. And you can see here, as Brad Garlinghouse is announcing, per the CME group data, XRP futures contracts were the fastest ever just over 3 months to hit $1 billion in open interest. So this is, of course, really impressive here. This is an absolutely lightning fast run to over $1 billion. This just shows you the level of institutional as well as retail interest that we are seeing here. Of course, futures primarily being institutions though, so this does show a very strong sentiment and strong incentive from institutions to acquire XRP. So I want to show you this because this is, in my opinion, pretty interesting. The second fastest to ever do it was Solana, and the third fastest was Ethereum, as you may have guessed from like the thumbnail on the video here. But that's essentially what we're seeing here. Really impressive stuff. And to kind of tie on with that, we're actually seeing a really interesting release here, or some things that we're seeing here coming in the future, which is this XRP Spot ETF Tracker. You can see the decision dates all towards the middle or end of October. This could prove to be just an absolutely legendary setup for XRP. If these do get approved, I do expect that we see a really strong run out of XRP. And again, this could be, again, potentially after we see a breakout here and start our climb all the way up. So this realistically could be the thing that pushes us toward that kind of mythical $5 mark. We've already hit the $3 mark. We're kind of right below it right now. We've already kind of well claimed above it several times before. And so this could be the moment that we start that march toward that $5 mark. Now, you can see again, we're seeing a little bit of a down day here. This is nothing I'm particularly concerned about. You can see we actually do have an XRP position open here. If you are interested, of course, you can sign up using the links in the description below and start trading as well. You can see down just about $13 here. Nothing I'm particularly too concerned about. Again, we're kind of trying and we're like looking for this play of seeing a bounce outside of this trend line. I also do have this stop loss kind of set below that zone of liquidity. You can see right at the very, very bottom of it. So a little bit of risk involved here, but nothing I'm super concerned about. I think if we dip lower, I'll probably double down. And then also if we start to move a little bit higher and we see a little bit of a break and retest, I would also be looking to kind of load up the truck here for that potential kind of bounce off the trend line and further move back to the upside. So that's a little bit of what I'm looking at here from a trading perspective. Again, I do have those links in the description below to BloFin, Weex, as well as BTCC. All have fantastic referral bonuses. They are affiliate links if you are interested. You get up to 10%, or I guess you get 10% guaranteed in first time deposit bonuses for BTCC if you are interested. That is probably the strongest new sign up referral bonus that we do have currently. You can get it only using my link. If you are interested, just make sure to click that link in the description below. Also, Weex and BloFin having really, really nice deposit and sign up bonuses as well. Both of those you will be able to find out on those on the respective sites, just because they do change fairly frequently. So you can also check all of those out if you are interested. But overall, really, really exciting news with the absolutely massive demand coming for the CME futures, as well as the massive demand, or the massive potential, I guess I should say, coming from these ETF decisions lingering here in just about a month and a half. So really exciting stuff. I would say definitely be keeping your eyes peeled and stay tuned for this XRP content. If you are interested, of course, you can subscribe. That does really help the channel. And then you also could drop any comments or questions, things like that. I'd really love to hear your feedback that you have for XRP. I'm very interested to see kind of what happens in this next short term. And then I'm really, really interested to see what happens when we see those ETF decisions there. So I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, and then we can continue the discussion in the comments. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.